the gentleman from Massachusetts is talking about the Prime Minister. What about the President of the United States? We have 7 Americans still being held hostage. 4 deceased, 3 presumed living. Where is Joe Biden? Where is the President of the United States to make sure that American hostages are being brought home? It is shameful the way this administration has allowed these hostages to languish. They have not put adequate pressure on our allies. They have failed miserably in the responsibility to get Americans home. And when in fact there have been ceasefires, and when in fact hostages have been released, Americans have not. It is shameful. And so I rise in support of the Illegitimate Court Counteraction Act to reimpose sanctions on officials working for the International Criminal Court. This institution has continually abused its authority and demonstrated blatant hostility toward our allies and American values. As Israel has continued to defend itself against terrorists in the Middle East, over the objections of this administration, by the way, let's be clear, Sinwar and Nasrallah would still be alive if Netanyahu listened to this administration. The ICC has joined the UN in showing a clear bias against Israel. This culminated in the ICC seeking arrest warrants of the Prime Minister and other members of his cabinet. The Israelis have been working tirelessly for over a year to rescue hundreds of hostages still held by Hamas and defend their own people from further attacks. The ICC's actions amount to little more than a political smear campaign cloaked in the veneer of international law. This pattern of behavior from the ICC is not new. This is the same body that has repeatedly targeted the United States and our service members, attempting to investigate and prosecute Americans who have risked their lives to defend our freedom around the world. And so I urge my colleagues to support this critical measure and ensure that the U.S. remains steadfast in defending our allies, protecting our citizens, and upholding the tenets that have long defined.
The gentleman another 30 seconds.
The gentleman has yielded an additional minute. The gentleman is recognized.
And upholding the tenets that have long defined our leadership on the world stage. And with that, I yield back to the chairman.